everyone, it's Miss Joanne here. I'm in the library. As you can see, I do not have the green screen up today because I have a green plant over here behind me. And next to me, which you can't see very well, I also have this guy. And you know, both of them live in the children's room, up on top of the bookshelves. And so that's today's program is all about seed, from seed to sprout, which ties in with our new seed library. So you can read about that on our website or in our newsletter. And this is this craft, science project, whatever you choose to call it, ties in very nicely with that. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to do a science-y, fun kind of thing. So if you haven't already picked one up, you can come to the library and get this. Okay, this is your grab and go sack o' stuff. Now this one's sealed up. I haven't opened this one. I have my supplies all sitting right here, and I'll show you what they are. There is a pipette, which you put into a cup of water and you squeeze the bulb, the top, and water will go up into it. Okay, you have a little cup, hold it that way so you can see it better, with some seeds in it. And you have a bunch of cotton balls. You see my cotton balls there? And you have a plastic cup. I know plastic is bad, bad, bad. I am aware of that, but we are using the plastic for a reason. And that reason is because it is translucent. You can look at it and see what's going on the inside of it. If I used a paper cup, you wouldn't be able to see as well. The other thing about a paper cup is that sometimes they get a little leaky on the bottom, whereas the plastic one should not do that. Okay, you should also have a set of instructions. And on the back, you can create a chart if you choose. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to grow some seeds on some cotton balls instead of using dirt. Okay, and you'll notice there are 2 of every seed, every type of seed in your container. There are 3 types of seeds. There are, I have to be careful that I don't end up having to chase across the floor for them. There are white, hard, I was surprised at how hard they are because I've never grown these myself, bean seeds. Maybe if I hold it like that, can you see it? Put it against my, okay, you can't see it. Okay, how about I go like that? There it is. There you go. Okay, it's a white bean seed, and it's got a hard outside. I was really surprised at how hard they are. I mean, you can hear it. Hear how hard they are, and there are 2 of them. Okay, there are sunflower seeds. Now you're going to recognize these. Some of them are black. Some of them are black and white striped, and some of them are mostly white with only light black lines on them, very finely lined. So regardless, they're all the same sunflower seeds. And then there are these 2 itty bitty teeny tiny ones that you can't see. I'm sure you can't. Well, you can see one of them there. That is a radish seed. Okay, and if you don't know what radishes are, sometimes you get them in salad. They're kind of peppery tasting, very crunchy. I was going to say they're red. Sometimes they're red. Most of the time they're red, but there are other colors of radishes. So some of them I think are yellow. So that's what's in your little cup. Okay, I put the lid back on so I don't have to go chasing across the floor for these guys. All right, and here's my set of instructions. And it says, did you know you can grow seeds on moist cotton balls? Here's how. So you're going to take some of your cotton balls and put them in the bottom of your cup. Now, I kind of like to stretch them out a little bit, not that much. Okay, a little bit, just fluff them out and then put them in there so that they're not so rounded and bumpy. I'd like personally, I like a smoother thing. I don't know scientifically if that makes a difference. You have 2 sets of seeds. If you wanted to do an experiment with that, you could find another cup at home and see what happens if you choose to do that. Okay, I'm fluffing out another one. Now, there are quite a few cotton balls here. I don't think you're going to need all of them really, but I wanted to make sure you had enough to cover the bottom of your cup and come up a little bit on the sides because you want to give them, the seeds, a nice little bed to go on. So there are my cotton balls. Maybe I'll plump this one out a little bit more. It's kind of lumpy in the middle. There you go. Okay, so there are my cotton balls in my cup. I'm going to put my extra ones aside. Okay, I have a cup of water. It should be room temperature. Whoa, watch me spill it on the computer. It should be room temperature, not hot, not cold, comfy to the touch. Okay, and you're going to take your pipette, put it in, give it a squish. Oh, did you see the bubbles? And suck up some water and sprinkle it around on your cotton balls. And what you want is for your cotton balls to be damp, but not sopping wet, not ever sopping wet. Okay, here we go again. Let me see if you see the bubbles. Did you see them? Okay, I know. Why am I so fascinated with that? Because it's fun. Okay, here we go. Some more. Okay, let's see. Okay, now you could count and see how much you put in there. Let me see. I think, there we go. I'm mushing it down a little bit so that it is nice and smooth. And I think I'm going to give it a little tiny squirt more, just a little bit. Here we go. Okay, so there's my cotton balls. And as I said, we have 3 kinds of seeds. Okay. I'm going to take one of each type. So here's my sunflower seed, my black sunflower seed. There it is. And I'm going to tuck it down in there. And I'm putting it right along the side. And the reason I'm doing that is because I want to see it growing. I want to see it close to the edge so I can see it growing. Okay, and here's my white bean seed. I'm going to put that part way along, heading towards the other side. There we go. And then my little golden brown radish seed. Oop, I didn't want it to go over there. I want it to be a little further away from the other seed. So let me use, I'm going to use the tip of my pipette, you see, to move my little radishy guy along a little ways. There, that's better. Now, if you want, excuse me, you could put, maybe you'd want to put an S for sunflower. You could write the whole thing too, but it's a long word. B for bean. And they happen to be, I believe they said Blue Lake green beans. So it's going to be the long, skinny type of beans. And here's my sunflower, and you know what sunflowers look like. Okay, so there they are. So I could put an S, an R, and a B. And I'm going to take my other seeds and put them in there. And sure enough, I guess I lost the other radish seed. Who knows? Maybe it went in there with it. Okay, so anyway, but as I said, that it's not that important because you only need one. If you have 2 and you feel like doing it, you could do it, a comparison, do one with dirt or do it one with cotton balls, whatever you want to do. It's up to you. So there is your experiment. And I'm just going to take a little bit more water because as I was putting the seeds in, it felt quite dry. So I'm going to just dribble a little bit more on my cotton. And what I'll have to do is I'll have to pay attention to this here at the library. I'm going to put it someplace, hopefully where you'll be able to see it. I have to find a spot and we can see if it grows. And that's where the other side of your paper comes into play. It gives you a space for radishes, the round ones, the beans, the white ones, the sunflowers. And you can put notes, you can put whatever you want. I personally would put the date. So today's date is, oh, it doesn't show on my computer when I'm doing this. Today is the 7th, I think. I know I'm doing this ahead of time so that it will be ready for you guys. Okay, you can start picking up the kits on the 12th, and this video will be available starting the 17th. Okay, so that's a Saturday. And again, this is the kit you're going to pick up. It has all your little supplies in there. We also, because it's National Library Week right now, oh, that's not going to help you anyway. I forgot. Well, I hope you come into the library this week and by chance happen to get the little gift and packet of sunflower seeds that is being given out for National Library Week. If you don't, it's not the end of the world because we have the seed library and you can, with your mom and dad or your grown-up, pick some seeds from that. I'm not sure of all the details, so you'd have to read up on it and see. Okay, so here's my cup with my seeds, and you can put the type on there. And I'm going to put my pipette aside. Okay, you want to put your cup with your seeds in a place with good light, but not by a hot, sunny window. So if you know the directions that your house faces, you do not want to put this in a south-facing window. You do not want to put it in a west-facing window that gets the hotter afternoon sun. A morning-facing window, an east-facing window, you have to be careful. I would keep it back a little ways from the window rather than right up close, like that. There it is, rather than right up close. But if you have even lighting in your house, that should be fine. I'm going to put it, I was thinking of putting it on one of the tables, but I think probably I'll end up having to put it behind the children's desk up on the bookshelf. And that doesn't get any direct sunlight, but plants seem to love growing there, as you can see by my Mr. Pineapple behind me. Okay, and my poor, this is, I think it's called a kalanchoe or kalanchoe. And again, I can't quite get it into the picture. There we go. It's a big plant. It was a little wimpy thing that I bought in the supermarket, and it got happy. But it also got kind of overgrown during the whole time when the library wasn't open. It was being watered regularly, but nothing else was done. And it got pretty sad. It lost a lot of its leaves because it was watered regularly, but it wasn't watered as often as it would normally be because nobody was allowed in the building. So when Miss Rhonda would come into the library to do work that had to be done, every couple of weeks she would water it and Mr. Pineapple behind me. So this guy over here, actually, that's what the other thing I wanted to show you is, here's a cup of water, the same water I just used. And I'm going to take my fingernails, really, just my fingernails. You could be fancy and use a scissor, but I'm just going to take my fingernails and let me see if I can turn this a little bit. There we go. And I'm going to pinch out a section. Let's see. It's hard for me to tell right here which is the most unbalanced looking, but for right now, well, first off, I'm going to take off the top of this because this is really uneven looking. So I'm just going to see these. Oh, you can't see that. There we go. There we go. It's very skinny at the bottom. It has no leaves down there. It must be from when it lost all the leaves. So I'm just going to pinch off that top section. And there it is. It's just a couple of little leaves, 4 little leaves. I'm just going to intend to get rid of them. I'm putting them aside for right now, but that's what I'm going to do. Now, what I want to do with the other ones is I want to take a bigger piece, and I think I'm going to go back to about here. Maybe I should have brought a scissor for this one. There we go. There, so it's like a little treelet. Here's the bottom, here's the top, and you can see on the top of this that I had already, see how it's kind of blunt? I had already at some point pinched out some leaves there. And I'm going to pull off a couple of leaves at the bottom. So that leaves the little nodes where they were attached. I don't know if you can see it. Can you see little tiny little bumps like? And I'm going to put that in the water. Now there's not quite enough water in here right now. I will have to give it a little bit more water and fill it up a little more. But that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put them in there. I'm going to figure out a way to make it stay up there. Although maybe as I put a few more in, it will work fine. And I'm going to take a few more little sprigs. And then what will happen is that they will start growing roots right where the, I believe where the leaf node was. I've done these before, but I did the other version of rooting them, which is called pinch and poke. And it's literally what it sounds like. You pinch it off or cut it off with a scissor, either one is fine. And then you poke a hole in the soil. I like to use a bamboo skewer, like you would use for shish kebabs. Poke a hole in the soil and poke the end of that stem in there. Gently, gently, gently pat the dirt around it, and they root. And you get another section of the plant. Okay, so there right now I've got 2 of them in my cup of water. And as I said, I'm going to need to put a little more water in there. And let's see, what about this guy here? Oh, this planty is kind of sad. It really needs probably to be really chopped down and let to grow again, but I have trouble doing that. I'm not tough. So let's see, I'm going to take this piece here. And well, that leaf just came off, so boom. Okay, so there's my little treelet. Pull off the other leaf. You notice on this type of plant, they grow opposite each other. Different kinds of plants have different arrangements of leaves on there. And I'm going to chuck it in the dirt, in the water. And there they are. And you can see they're just barely touching the water. So I definitely have to put some more water in there. And maybe I will be able to plant these and poke them into the soil after they get some roots. Again, gently, gently. And maybe the plant will get a little chubbier around the bottom, because that's what I'd like it to do, be a little chubbier around the bottom. Because you can see it kind of grew crazy during that time when we were not here. Can you see how it grew like down and up again? It's a little crazy. Oh, and now Mr. Pineapple is bonking me in the head. Okay, so Mr. Pineapple, if any of you are old enough to remember doing Build a Better World in the summer reading program in 2017, long before we knew anything about COVID, we grew Mr. Pineapple. Mr. Pineapple was from a pineapple from the supermarket. He's all over the place. He's huge. If I put him on the table out in the children's room, which I think is 4 feet across, he goes pretty much the whole way. And yeah, I call it he. I don't know if it's a boy plant. I mean, it's a plant. They do have male and female parts on the flowers of things, but I don't know if the plants themselves, at least not pineapple plants, are if they have gender. Okay, but I call it Mr. Pineapple because I do. So he's really big. You can see how tall he is? I mean, the pot is on a cart about an inch lower than the table. And this guy goes way up over my head, way up there, and up there, way up there, that's the very end. Okay, so that's Mr. Pineapple, and I'm going to tell you about Mr. Pineapple, how you do it. So you've got a pineapple from the supermarket, and unfortunately I don't have one with me, but that's okay. You hold, using a glove probably, because they're prickly, they're really prickly. Hold the pineapple part with one hand and put your other hand close to the base of the fronds that poke out at the top. And you're going to twist in opposite directions. So if this hand has the fronds, the head of the pineapple, you would turn it that way. And this hand's going to go this way, holding the pineapple itself. And you'll feel, believe it or not, it comes off. I was so shocked when I tried this, but it really, truly does. And then you're going to peel away at the base, peel off some of the fronds from the base of it. And you'll start seeing little rootlets already in there. And you put that into a plate or a cup, just barely, not the whole thing. You don't want it soaked. And it will start rooting. A cup of water, not just a plate. Some people say to let it dry for a few days. I didn't do that, I don't believe, because it's a while now. It's 2021, and this was 2017, so I guess it makes it 4 years old. So you peel away those little things, and you'll see the little rootlets. You want to get those into the water, but you don't want to submerge the whole thing. And keep making sure you put a little bit of water in that saucer or whatever. It's like when you grow a carrot top. And you'll start seeing them growing, and then you can put it more into a cup of water and let it get a nice root system going, and then you would transfer it into a pot of soil. And they say you could, in theory, get some pineapple, get a pineapple. I think only one grows at a time. Our plant's 4 years old, I don't see any pineapples. On the other hand, it is huge, so who knows? We'll see. So that's Mr. Pineapple back there. And you've got the pinch and pokes, you can do that. You can do seeds. And then I had this book. It's called Dig In. And I just wanted to show you, it's a new book, and I like it. It has a section, talking about growing romaine lettuce from what they call the stub, the bottom of the thing. Now, it's specified organic romaine lettuce with the root stem attached. So, I mean, it has to be the whole lettuce head. It can't be just the kind that you buy in a bag. Okay. And what they did was they cut off that bottom end of the romaine. And again, using a saucer, or they said a loaf pan, but they did several of them at a time. Put about 1 inch of water and put your lettuce in there, and it will start growing, so they say. I have never tried this, but I am going to as soon as I get some romaine lettuce. I was wondering, I have some iceberg. I know. I've heard everything about iceberg, but it's what I happen to have right now. And I threw out the base. I don't know if it would work with that. So that would be something else to experiment with. And then it says to spray the cut leaf tops with water. Now they left, if you can see it, a few leaf tops on there. I think. I would like a few more pictures. It would be nice if there were a few more. Maybe those are the new ones growing. It's hard to decide. But it says within 2 weeks, you should have fully grown lettuce leaves to harvest for salad. Now I'm thinking they're going to be small leaves. I don't think they're going to be the big, 10-inch long ones. It says to cut off new leaves, remove the root stems from the water, place them on a cutting board, and have an adult help you trim the leaves from the stub. And then you put it back in and do it again and grow more leaves. So that's pretty cool. All right, so there you go, growing romaine lettuce from stubs. And I didn't tell you anything about this book. It's called Dig In. 12 easy gardening projects using kitchen scraps. So there it is. See that? It's by Carrie Cornell. Photography is by Jennifer S. Larson. And this is by, who's this book by? Let's see, who published this book? Come on, there we go. This is published by Millbrook Press, which is a division of Lerner Publishing Group. So you could come in and look for this book at the library. I will give it back to the library very soon, and it will be checked in and available for you. The other thing I wanted to show you here was the pineapple. Okay, so there's the pineapple. Now they did it a different way. He took the whole top off, which I read also, but then you have to cut away all the meaty part, because if you leave the meaty, fruity part on there, it will rot. You have to get all that off. So you just want that little nub in the middle that has these little tiny rootlets. And I wish there was a good picture of them, but there's not. But there's what it looks like when they're little. Okay. So there you go. And then there's a recipe for a smoothie if you wanted to make a smoothie. It just has all these cool things. That was the other thing. It shows how to make flower pots out of newspapers. Can you see that? So they folded the newspaper, they tore the center, you know, like you need the two pieces that are with the fold. You tear it in half or cut it in half, fold one half, fold it the other way so it's in quarters. Then you roll it around an empty can, a veggie can, and fold the bottom under and tape that, and then slide the can out. And then you have biodegradable flower pots. Now, obviously, this is not to keep your geranium growing on the window ledge. This is for starting seedlings in. And once you have it growing, you would put it in the dirt, and the newspaper will break down, and there you'll have your plant growing. So it's got a lot of cool stuff in this book. A little book, but it's got 12 things. It says 12 things. I think there are really more if you count everything. I mean, the pot and the recipes and everything. So, so there you go. There's that. And I was thinking about reading this book to you because it, excuse me, my allergies are really bad. I'm sure if you have allergies, they would be bad too. This is One Bean by Anne Rockwell and pictures by Megan Halsey. And in here, she planted the same kind of bean that we planted, except, well, similar bean. And she soaked it beforehand, which I have read with other things. I have also had to file down the side of nasturtium seeds, or trying to think what else it could have been, nasturtiums or morning glories or moonflowers. I forget which one it was, but there I was with a piece of sandpaper and this seed, like the size of a cherry pit, scraping it away to make it softer because it's such a hard seed. So, so that's about it for right now, actually. Here's Mr. Pineapple, growing happy. And my calanchoe over there, if I'm saying it right. If I'm saying it wrong, let me know. And I hope everybody has fun. Remember, starting the 12th, you can pick this up. And this video will be available on the 17th, which is sort of sounds backwards, but it's good for you to have this in advance. So I hope you enjoy the spring. I hope you enjoy growing your plants. And that's about all for right now. Night. I know it's nighttime right now too. So everybody have a happy spring, and I hope to see you at the library. Bye.